Hello, everyone. Daniel here from the Next Issue podcast. On today's episode, I'll be reviewing the first volume of Magic, and yes, it is. This is that Magic. So a few months ago, Boom Studios announced that they would be adapting or making a new comic book for Magic the Gathering. If you're not familiar with Magic the Gathering is one of the longest running trading card games. It has a lot of different lore. I think it's been around pretty much forever. Wizards of the Coast and now Hasbro um, are putting the product out, and it's very popular. It's one of the most popular games, along with like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. Those three kind of have been around forever. So they Boom has taken this opportunity to bring in some of the lore, some of the expansions. They picked three different planeswalkers. If you don't know what a planeswalker is, um, the book does a pretty good job at explaining it, so I won't go too much into detail. But let's check out the talent in this book. Then we'll go a little bit over the story, and we'll look at some art because I think that's one of the biggest selling points for me on this book. So this book is written by Jed Mackay, illustrated by Ig Guara, colored by Arianna Consonni from Arcane Studios, and lettered by Ed Dukeshire. So yeah, I was pretty lucky to get an advanced copy of this. Boom's been sending us some pretty rad stuff, and I bought the first issue of this because it was behind the poly bag, and I wanted to see. One of the cool things about this is that the covers are there's a lot of really cool variants with all types of planeswalkers. So if you're into the game, I think you're gonna like that collectible part of it. So let's go over the premise a little bit, and then we'll just kind of jump around and take a look at some art and talk about the volume as a whole. So, upon the plain of Ravnica, the great city of Gilts is about to come under attack. But who would be interested in challenging or brazen enough to draw ire of the guild masters that are their chosen targets? Now, these masters are Vraska, Ral, and Kaya, who, after surviving the assassination attempt on their life, their mission is now to decipher the mystery of who would be brazen enough to attempt an assassination on three of Ravnica's most powerful individuals. And there's also the matter of Jace Beleren, who has fallen comatose. So this sounds like a lot, but the book is actually pretty good. Let me show you this page. The book starts with a lot of exposition, world building, introduction of characters. I think the book does a really good job. I feel like if you had read this month to month, that first issue would have felt a little slow, like a bit of a slog. I picked up the book, but I didn't read it. Like I said, I just kind of wanted to see what variant, because they're all blind bags. But I mean, the book combined with the art, like you're getting some beautiful art, uh, along with like the introduction to this world, right? So if you're already somebody who plays Magic and is aware of the lore and familiar with what's going on, I think you're gonna feel right at home at in Ravnica. But if you're not, if you're new to the town, I think this is your chance to kind of look around and check it out. Not just the comic, but maybe see if Magic would be something you'd be interested. Um, it's really interesting. This kind of feels like when like the Yu-Gi-Oh anime was just made to sell the card game. But now there's people that love Yu-Gi-Oh that I've never played. So, like I mentioned, let's go over some more of the art. I think all the designs of the places, and here you can see we are kind of following three parallel stories of Braska, Ra, and Kaya, who are the planeswalkers that we're going to be following throughout this story. Um, the book does a really good job at giving each of them their own time to shine. So it never feels like there's one that's getting more time than the other. Maybe in future volumes, they'll elaborate more on each one of them. But overall, like we could just see here, I love pages like this where we have a sequence of each one of them, kind of proving why they're the most powerful, or some of the most powerful people in Ravnica. And they do a really good job of just demonstrating that. These are not beings to be messed with. So I really appreciated that part of the book. I think it lends to the wide, um, just so, this world is so big, and so like there's so much to it, that you understand why there would be beings like this in the book. So I really enjoy that. One of my favorite pages here is this little. It it almost feels like a comparison, but it's not. I just think it's a really interesting look at each one of our. I guess I would call them protagonists. Um, I don't know where the story's gonna go, so I'm not really sure. Look, I don't want to say I don't trust the lady with the snake-like hair, but you know, you never know. But yeah, these are all very interesting characters. They all have their own different powers and attacks, and kind of like in the game, they each have their own attributes, right? So I think that part makes it very interesting to adapt a game to something like this, to a medium like comics, where you really have to follow a story. The last thing I'll show is here. There are some more of the quiet moments here where our heroes are actually investigating, and they look super cool. Like I love looking at all the stuff in the background to see if I'm sure there's a lot of Easter eggs for fans of the game. I've played a little bit of Magic, but never enough for me to like fully be invested into like checking this out week to week. I think collected is the way I'm gonna experience this book. But yeah, I think Boom Studios has a bit of a hit on their hands. Jed Mackay is an amazing writer. I like what they're doing over at Marvel, and I'm glad to see Jed just doing. I don't know if he's a fan of Magic or not. I think that would be interesting to look into. But yeah, here's where they discover that Jace Bellerin is in a coma, and now we gotta find. Now we have another mystery to solve, and I think that's the book is just. It comes to a really good point in the story. Like it really delivers a story, and it resolves some issues. But also, this is an ongoing book, so we know there's gonna be more stuff. We're introduced to more characters. I don't want to get too much into the weeds, but overall, I really enjoyed the first volume of Magic. It's weird that they didn't call it the full name. But yeah, I enjoyed this a lot. I think I'm gonna read this as the collections come out. This is not a monthly book for me. I think this is something I would prefer more as a collected edition. So if you play Magic and are watching this, let me know if you picked up the comic. Let me know if you found it interesting, and if there's any Easter eggs or anything that we would miss as people that don't really get into the lore of the game. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Remember to join us for our DC Fandom live stream on Saturday coming up. Patrons get to hop on the stream. We're working all the details, but if you're interested in just hanging out a little bit online, talking about DC Fandom, check the sign. Check the link in the description, and you'll be able to join our Patreon, which kind of helps us do all this stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live, and all that good stuff. Appreciate everybody. Bye bye.